Hey everyone. I wanted to talk about something I think interesting today, about all of the things that we kind of know and kind of suspected, but never actually figured out what and where they come from. I've been reading source code for RTCW, and in this instance, I selected IO RTCW because I think it should be more current on that. Thank you to Men at Arms for supporting that stuff. It's freely available on GitHub, and you can find it by just typing IO RTCW in GitHub. And IO is something that they have attached to a Quake engine once the engine was released and people started to fix it themselves. Open, I think it means. So anybody can go and read through a few things about what makes this game running. So today I want to talk about spreadscale. I think it's a very interesting topic. It's a very minute topic and not many people pay attention to it, but it matters a lot. So um, let's see what I found. First of all, we have all of the weapons. I'm going to talk about machine guns and pistols today. And we know that there's a certain spread scale conditions. If you sit, it's better. And if you stand, it's a little bit worse. What is that? Almost two of the same? That doesn't make me look good, but we're gonna find out all of the numbers behind all of these transitions. So let's fire up a few things and see how the spread scale affects every weapon. First one was Colt, and this one is Luger. Now I'm we know that MP40 has a little bit more spread. Whoops, that was supposed to be Thompson. Doesn't really matter. It's almost the same. And it's a little bit bigger like that. And stun, of course, is going to be the lowest spread of all. And I'm not even going to fire everything. That's about as much as stun going to get. Alright, let's slow the time down a little bit so it doesn't go away. Alright, so Colt started to disappear, but it doesn't really matter. It was just about the same as Luger. There is only certain number of marks that can be impacted on the map, I think. That's what it is. But Luger was very comparable to the pistol, Colt. And then there's MP40, Thompson, and Stan. Well, so what makes a weapon, really? I kind of summarized a few things here. We have all of the bullet weapons, minus Venom and Mausers, I guess, and their properties. Damage, we all know that, I think. Two pistols do the same damage, MP40 and Stan do the same, and Thompson does a little bit more, 18 over 14. Interesting stuff. Where can you find this? So you go to the engine and you start typing things like, ooh, I want to find something about Thompson, for example. Thompson gun in this repository. And this repository will be searched for all of the things connected to this word, and maybe in the code you will see some explanations, some numbers, some things. And since I'm nice, I did a little bit of work for you already and read a little bit of code and figured out a few things, so I'll take you through them. So in this file, in weapon file, we see this long table of cases of things. What is the damage per every weapon? Here we're kind of reading what's the game type. It's single player, so read this code. We don't care about single player, we care about multiplayer. And from here I have extracted all of the relevant numbers for Tesla and stuff. No, where's MP40? All of the relevant numbers and put it in a nice table in Excel. So the damage is pretty simple, we know that so far. Then we can talk about spread. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Let's see. So some of the interesting things I found, sometimes are very deep, is that some of the things we never really thought about is that what happens when you start shooting a weapon? Does it hit, I mean, does it hit exactly in the point where you're aiming, or is it skewed a little bit? There are several conditions to that we're gonna go over, but this one I think is pretty stable. No matter what weapon you shoot, when you aim, whether you stand, whether you move, whether you turn, which is going to be a separate case, it does have a little bit of random spread already. The spread scale for different weapons is such, and you'd be like, what? I never possibly even thought. I thought every bullet hits exactly where I aim it to be, because that's how life should work. Right? Let's get the time scale back. So everybody's favorite, MP40, right? Let's see if each bullet hits exactly where my crosshair is. Not quite. It's still very decent precision, but not quite at all. And I think these numbers here are responsible for how far out of the way the bullet is gonna go. The numbers are units, and units define distances in game. I mean, they're not inches or yards, but they're programmatical inside units that maps are built with, and game engine understands them the same. And this means that the spread, the initial spread of every first bullet fired is going to be 15 units wide. But you say, how far is the 15 units? Probably there's a magic number that I will go over, but it's 8,192. So this angle is, if we're looking at it as a straight triangle, the side that is next to us is going to be 8,000, and the side that is opposing to us is going to be 15. So the angle of the triangle is going to be minuscule, so the spread is minuscule too. How minuscule is this? Exactly like that. Well, I have to let the spread cool down a little bit. See? It's never exactly in the same spot where you want it to be. But what is it exactly? So it's some kind of long function that I don't care to read entirely right now. And it goes something like, for pistols, for Luger initial spread is 35, so it's less accurate than Colt, which is 20. And for guns, for MP40 and Thompson, and actually for Sten also, the spread is about 15 plus minus a minuscule amount. This is written in C language, so random, which varies from 0 to 1, and then I don't understand this It's supposed to be a reminder of 10, but everything 1 divided by 10 is going to be 0, so that's kind of strange. It varies anyway, so alright. You can come back to that or comment or do whatever. We can have a discussion. What's next? The spread itself. We all know this, that guns do have different spreads, and they do have spreads, and as soon as you start shooting a gun, the spread grows. But how much or how far or for how long, that we can find out. Let's go here. Get weapon spread function. We don't care about single player clause. We don't care about, what is this? Oh, some kind of user aim, either auto aim or bot aim, don't care. So not single player. So these are the multiplayer values for Luger, for Thompson, for MP40 and stuff like that. Here they are. And we talked about this briefly. Distance over which the spread occurs is calculated is 8,192, and let's say maximum spread for a Thompson gun is 600 units, right? 600 units. Still very minuscule value, but this angle works out to be about to 9 degrees, I think, or so. Please challenge my math. I don't care to be exactly, you know, right all the time, but close enough. Plus minus. So we get about maybe 20 degree spread when the Thompson is shooting full power spread. It takes time to get up there. How long does it? Well, let's discuss the spread values first. Colt is less accurate. Luger is less accurate, but they don't appear to be the same because something else kicks in when the spread is calculated. And then we have MP40, Thompson, and Sten. I should have included rate of fire and all this, huh? Okay. MP40, Thompson, and Sten. Thompson is, what is this, 30% less accurate than Thompson. It has 30% more spread, 33.3 rather. So when Thompson spread is going to be about 600, yeah, okay. Thompson, I mean MP40 is going to be here, and Sten is going to be here. So this is kind of what we saw in the very beginning. Let me give all the weapons back, just in case. MP40. Thompson, very sloppy. And Sten. Super accurate. I mean, we see how much difference is between 200, 400, and 600 spread. So we knew that much already. Different weapons have different spreads. Thompson is a lot less accurate. But how is it really calculated though? aimSpreadScale is the keyword that is found through the code in many different functions. But I think this block of code is exactly identifying how bad the spread is gonna get and how soon. So it looks like with every shot, spreadscale is gonna get about 15 decimals. I mean 1.0.15, Jesus. Worse than the previous shot, and it grows until the point it reaches 1, which is, let's just think about it, as 100% and gets worse by 15%. and once it's over 1, it caps at 1. So what does it mean exactly? The spread is going to grow to full amount of 600, which is 100% for Thompson. It will start with almost nothing. It will start at about this value, and with every shot fired it will grow 15% more, and then will cap itself at 100%. So where did Thompson go? Let's do burst about 5-6 bullets. So it's not bad. Let's try to not rely on my timing because I'm terrible at this, as it appears. Let's see the bullets actually. So by the 7th bullet, it looks like the spread is going to be maximum. Maybe I fucked up, because there are different factors that go into this. Spread scale grows with every shot, but it also grows with time as you keep the button pressed. It also goes down with time, but it doesn't go down with shot. So plus 15 minus something percent. That's why I was probably mistaken here. So learn as we go. Interesting part here. If the game is not single player and the entity is you, this is something you learn. I mean, client is you, and there's some player state, which is what player is doing at the moment, and the property ground entity numbers, which is what we're standing on. And this pretty much says if the player is not standing on anything, such as flying, then the spread is going to be actually maximum 2. How can we test this? We can definitely test this. Let's try this. Set gravity. Well, first of all, let's get the scale back. Set gravity to 0. Okay. Do you remember what it was when it was not 0? I don't. But we're gonna try to see. Already terrible. Absolutely terrible. That is factor of 2 over there. That's how terrible the spread is when you're flying or something like that. So if you hit a guy while you're flying and you think, oh yeah, I totally had it aimed, or I was sitting down or something like that. Let's see if I sit down, like if I actually press crouch button, because it seems like especially in Quake Live something maybe is happening. They have added the animation for sitting down while in flight, but does it really affect the spread scale? No, still terrible as it can be. So how bad is the spread scale while you're flying? Twice as bad. Alright, another thing to consider, as I mentioned briefly already, is how soon does the spread scale disappear? Am I gonna credit? Nope. So this is my custom hood. So then don't pay attention to that. And if we set our spread scale, wow. If we set our spread scale to 2, in the normal HUD it will appear right about here when you shoot, and in my HUD it appears right about there. You see that bar next to my health that's going from green to red? So that's the spread scale that's going. That indicates how terrible my weapon spread has become over the period of time I was shooting. I think we knew that much already. But what it really indicates also is how fast it grows and how fast it goes back down. Let's see what's in the code about that. Well, while I was in the subject of actual angles and stuff like that, let me step back because I'm not so disorganized. When the spread scale is calculated for the next shot, it is pretty obvious that it's calculated randomly where the bullet is gonna go. You have the spread scale, which is about the angle eventually. The bullet is gonna be off the course of your aim, but it's gonna be random from -1 to +1 times that value. And because it's random, it can fire all kind of left and right and up and down. This is right value and this is up value. So it could be full right or negative right, which is left. Same with up. Not gonna torture you with that. There's a lot of vector math here that can make your head explode. I suggest don't get in there. Alright. What was I talking about? Adjust spread scale. So as we move, as we exist, as we do stuff, as we shoot, as the time goes on pretty much, spread scale is being affected. If you press the button and you start shooting, spread scale increases by some arbitrary amount of 800. And if you don't shoot, spread scale decreases by full amount of 200. So it increases all the time and decreases all the time. And the full change of spread scale is going to be the difference between the two, as we will see that eventually here. But the fact is that these two forces control the universe of spread scaling. It depends on time, it depends on whether you're sitting or not. Okay, let's see. First of all, adjust the aim spread scale. So every time the time passes, the spread scale is gonna be, and if you're shooting, the spread scale is gonna grow. This is the constant rate of the formula. And based on different weapon, the spread scale is gonna be restoring faster or slower. So let's see, for cold it restores that fast, and for, where's Luger? Luger. Yeah, for Luger and whatever silencer, probably single player, it restores a little bit slower. For MP40, 05, and for Thompson, 04. So, very important point here. We all know that Thompson is less accurate, but because of this number, Thompson's spread scale is restoring faster than MP40, right? Where is it used? It's divided by. So lower the value, better it is for the formula of decreasing it. Can we possibly see this? I'm looking at my spread scale indicator. I don't know. Seems pretty much the same to me, but underlying number is a little bit different. Maybe it's enough for some kind of placebo effect. Another thing that affects spread scale is you turning left and right and how fast you do this. Somewhere I had math figured out here, and I don't want this video to spread over 2 hours, but I think you have to turn more than 30 degrees per second in order for spread scale to grow. You see my spread scale right now is not growing at all, and if I turn faster, it grows quite a bit. So if you run around through tarmac like this, your aim is gonna be shit. And if you turn your head reasonably slowly, of course, assuming that you're not in too much of a hurry to shoot, your aim is gonna be way more accurate. What was I showing? What's next? Reload time. What's next? Okay. So here somewhere I know that. Okay, crouching. Crouching makes your scale go down by the factor of 2 faster. Obviously, I think we know that much. So this is the difference between shooting sitting down and shooting standing up, is how fast your spread scale goes down. It's not whether or not you sit better or hold your gun differently. Your spread scale is going down faster to the point that it cannot increase all the way up. You're watching the spread scale right now, it doesn't go all the way up because the decrease rate is just as fast almost as an increase rate. So let's turn around while sitting down. Also, spread scale almost non-existent. However, if we stand, it's absolutely terrible. So if you're scanning for an enemy or something, let's take it to the real battle situations, especially assault, huge terrible map like this. You always turn and see my spread scale, terrible. And if I kinda like wanna check out the place, I wanna turn there really fast and start shooting, yeah. If I start shooting standing up, chances are my bullet is gonna go I don't know where, especially if I'm holding Thompson on defense, which I'm not right now. And if you sit down and scale the map, it's a lot better. So this is something you might have not exactly known, but here we are, hopefully saying something useful. Just trying to think of real-time situations. Let's try to shoot. You see my MP40 already went to the full spread scale by the time I got myself to the wall. I don't think moving matters at all. See, when I move side to side, spread scale does not really do anything. But when I turn, like when I'm battling somebody, oh yeah, that's when it gets really bad. Especially like when the other person started to sprint around, which kinda in reverse you can think of your defensive strategy. Save your sprint until the person appears and just go around them, then you will definitely murder their spread scale down. Or grow it up. So these are the healing values we have just discussed. Thompson heals faster, MP40 heals a little bit slower, and Stun actually heals terribly compared to, but Stun is so accurate, and it also has something unique, the heat value, that it really doesn't matter. And I think Stun itself doesn't really matter. Nobody really used Stun in RTCW finals, so I don't even know what we talk about it. Maybe not the final thing that I want to talk about is the reload speed. Reloading is faster for pistols and it's equal. Reloading for MP40 is a little bit slower than Thompson. So Thompson wins on the minor factors when it loses 30% effectiveness on spread. It wins a little bit here and a little bit there. Yes, they do reload at the different rates. But can you really notice 0.2 seconds? You can't. Can you notice the difference between Thompson and Stun? Maybe. Maybe. So let's go over this again. Spread scales. If you're gonna look at the big picture, and of course, if this is about 600, then this line should be about 15 times longer. So this is gonna be the angle of our spread or so, not to scale. Thompson being 30% is incredibly inaccurate when you stand and even crouch and shoot long range. I mean, think about it like this. If I shoot terribly from this distance, imagine this wall is not here, this wall is not here, and it's like way over there that I'm trying to shoot. It's gonna be in that range or something, and not gonna hit anything at all. But short bursts, about 6 bullets, 6-7 bullets or so, is just a-okay to do. And you can see several players that did master this. I mean, this is nothing new, but several players did master this quite nicely. It's a lot in discipline. Like, I'd like to think that I know and I follow this, but when I see a person, maybe sometimes I get excited and I cannot get the table off. I mean, button, finger off the button. So what else can you find over there? Oh, this is the rate of fire I was talking about, I think. What's it? Delay? Fire delay time. Time from pressing the fire until the first shot is fired. Wait, what? It's a thing? Yeah, I think it's a thing. But it's miserable. Let me see if it's actually in this file. Delay high, delay low. Probably should go up if anything. There is also delay grenade. Okay, delay low is about what? 0.1 seconds until you press the button and the fire occurs. And it's the same for all weapons. I don't know. Next shot time. Okay, this is what we want to know. For Luger, it's 400. So we're talking about rate of fire. For Luger, it's 400. And I don't think it's gonna be milliseconds. It's gonna be probably a value that is substituted in a further formula. Or maybe, actually, does MP40 fire about 10 bullets per second? Stan 110. Stan is a little slower than MP40. Did not know. Learning something together. Isn't that fun? Thompson 120, about 20 points worse. And where it was cold, 400. Same as Luger. So rate of fire. The thing about pistols though, we know that if you press the button and keep the fire, what is it, 0.4 seconds per shot? But if you press the button for every shot and you do it as fast as possible, then it's different. Spread scale doesn't change. So this is something to consider. I did a lot of math about it. I'm not gonna bore you with this. Standing up fights where spread scale for Thompson is 30%, 33% worse than MP40 makes the whole weapon pretty much 33% worse, because let's say you start a fight with a headshot, that's minus 50 points on an enemy, and then at that time you probably already fired a couple of bullets here and that, and then you have 35% accuracy, multiply that by 30% of Thompson, it's going to be even worse. The math ends up to be not in a huge favor of Thompson. It's about 0 to 30% worse in the stand-up fights. Minus, of course, the body damage differential of 4 points, which is just turning out to be not that much. I think that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. So if you take some of these keywords and delay pistol, for example, or where are we using this? This is method of death, by the way. Whatever you are interested in, and you go and search this repository, I think you can change this, and just press enter. You will see a lot of interesting stuff that surrounds that weapon or whatever. So don't be afraid to read the code if you've never done it before, if it's not your profession, or if you never read it in school. After a while it gets familiar. I hope you liked it.